Islam, Islam, Islamism. Praise Allah. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to Brother Marcus Messiah Garvey Beta, forerunner of the Prophet. Honors to all past, present, and future leaders of the Moorish Science of America. Honors to the children, honors to the foe, honors to the higher self and lower self, honors to my mother and father, honors to all mothers and fathers who are harbingers of the present day leaders of the Moorish Science of America. Praise Allah for them. The name of the show today is called Understanding. It's one thing that the brothers and sisters do not understand is what's really going on behind this thing with Trump, and why is he signing all these executive orders and all that. What people don't understand is when the District of Columbia and their corporation and their presidents that has nothing to do with the United States of America, true indigenous people, is that they're enforcing policies that is under their contract and under their jurisdiction. For instance, all those who are born citizens under the 14th Amendment are subjected to the statute of limitations and corporate punishments and so on and so on. You have to do this, you have to do that. I'm not with the democracy. I'm with the republic. In order to have a democracy, you have to have a republic to give the so-called white people, the so-called founding fathers, because they ain't found nothing, to be honest with you. How you gonna find something that was already given to them that's already there? How you gonna make contract, the founding fathers are gonna make contract with the Moors of America that started with us and give Betsy Ross, an Asiatic woman, with the evil changes the faces of the judges thereof. So it says in the Bible. And that's what they did. They painted Betsy Ross as some so-called white woman, if you will. But she ain't Caucasian. Betsy Ross, come on, family. Let's start thinking. Europeans are not creative. The flag of the Stars and Stripes was created by Betsy Ross for the Sultan of Morocco. The Sultan of Morocco is in the present day kingdom, so to speak. The empire of Morocco is here in the United States of America, the 50 states. If you see anything that says, for instance, your birth certificate, state of California, Idaho, etc., Texas, 50 states, you know what I'm saying, then that means you're not under the constitutional fold if you have a birth certificate. Now, you probably asking your brother man Morris Live, well, you know, my grandmoms and great-great-grandmoms don't have a birth certificate. Well, because birth certificates didn't start coming out until like the 1930s, until Franklin Delano Roosevelt came out with the New Deal. So, what we have to understand is where all this misunderstanding came from. That the Europeans or who denationalized themselves of Europe and gave themselves the title white, which means white means free of blemish, free of evil, innocent, pure, very well standing, noble, and etc. etc. But we have to understand that, again, what I've said in my channel, that it is not, when you call someone white, you're talking about characteristics. You're talking about how a person acts in public, how they carry themselves, a behavior, not a skin complexion. A skin complexion does not determine whether you're white or black. It just determines on, depending on the situation, whether you're pale skinned, you're from Europe, or you happen to be pale skinned and your mom and father there happened to be a discrepancy with melanin at the time of birth. Depends on the situation, right? My neighbor's pale skinned, but he's Mexican. I met a woman who is so-called Puerto Rican, and she's pale skinned, and her mother and father happen to be of dark skin. But that's a rare case. That doesn't happen too often. Actually, you have what they call so-called albinos that happen to be one of those people who had trouble during the time of birth based upon melanin. But fast forward, it's not about your skin complexion. It's about your character and how you carry yourself. People want to wordplay and play check the box, saying, oh, you're white, so we're going to treat you better because you're white and you are superior to the so-called Negro, blacks, and colors, Latino, Chicano, Hispanic, and Islanders, per se. So what we're going to do is we're going to denounce our names of Europe and take upon these names of the Jones and so on and so on. So that way we have access to land. So if we own the slave, we own the land. We have access to the land. And we're not going to tell these niggers that they don't own the land, that they're Moorish. We're going to say that they're colored, Negro, and black folk, and we's white folk. That's who we is. And white power. That's what they say, right? I can't make it up. I can sit here exaggerate and change my voice all they want to what the demonstration may be, but at the end of the day, it's all about characteristic and state of mind. But the problem is, well, we're existing right now that we got a lot of immigrants who are from Europe, who came here on that Slavic slave ship from Europe and came here to New York and to live and have freedom of this and freedom of that, right? But not knowing that they don't even own America. If you can sit here telling me that the so-called white man owns America, then let me ask you a question. Where is this contract? Where is this deed to the land of all the 50 states? And what is his nationality on the record? In order for a person to be recognized as an American citizen, they must have a nationality, which comes with a descent flag, a descent name, constitution, and laws that come along with it. Other than that, you're not really an American citizen if you call yourself white. Well, I'm white and I'm American. No, you're not. Because there is no such people as a white people. And if there's such thing as a white people, that means they will have a white flag. That means they will have a white nation. That means that white nation will have constitution and laws. That's what that would be. But again, everything goes back to understanding. When are my brothers and sisters going to open their eyes up? When are they going to sit here and say, I'm going to read and do some more homework and research on this? Um, when are we going to stop accepting this news that this is going on, that's going on, but all the while, all the money that's being printed is not our money anyways? If you look at the face on that dollar bill, and the only person you see that's closest to Asiatic is Abraham Lincoln, because he is of Moorish descendant. In order to understand things, you must put a test out there and see if it's based upon facts or truth. That's all you got to do. How many times do you have to watch something over and over again to believe this lies and deceit that has no basis of truth? And when are you going to be able to question their way of thinking? So we need to really put away the slave mind thinking of this type of indoctrination of education to be able to start doing some thinking for ourselves. And whenever a Moorish American gives us information, maybe we ought to listen and take heed. Maybe we are to take notes when the brother and sister is speaking, out on the public street, or maybe on a rostrum in a temple. Maybe the brothers and sisters need to stop that gang banging, because all it's going to do is lead them either two things: paralyzed from the waist down, or dead, or some jailbait. Someone who wants a piece of that kadunk, that behind. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, they're going to be swarming in that behind with that yayo. Trust me. It ain't going to be pretty. But that's what they've been doing since the beginning of slavery to us anyways, those Europeans. Those Europeans were homosexual. They were bisexual. That's why the pants is hanging down right now. That's why it's a fashion. But did you know that the reason why they choose not to call a law that sagging your pants is a sign of what's the word I'm looking for? Indecent exposure? No, they just keep it going. That's all they do. They keep it going. How are you going to understand that fashion and all this stuff and miniskirts and tight pants and sagging and all that stuff? How is that going to benefit you? How are you going to create it as a culture? And you going to allow your children to dress like that? There's something wrong. Either you're on some type of European hypnosis, or you don't even know what is fashion and what is not. You don't even know what is elegant. But as soon as you see a brother walk around with an Islamic garment on and got a fez on his head, you're going to want to talk bad about the brother. You don't even know the brother from a can of paint. You don't even know that the brother could take your life, but yet and still, everything goes back to understanding. What is it that you are missing in the world that you and a few other people of Guam and Puerto Rico are missing? Other than being so-called black. Right? You missing nationality. You missing your culture of your ancient forefathers and mothers. Anytime a person does not honor their forefathers and mothers' ancient divine creed and principles, you are just straight living just to live. You're living like the slaveholder. You're living like the colonist, and you want to hoard all these things. But yet still, these things are just idols. They have no saving power. And you take upon these things as God. So is your God today is not your God tomorrow. When are my brothers and sisters going to open their eyes and see the truth for what it truly is? I don't know. Maybe they don't understand. The word understand means to comprehend. Comprehend means to basically understand the condition and be able to break down the hypothesis and theory to be able to make yourself grow, to make yourself a better person. Like Michael Jackson said, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. He didn't say change your gender. He didn't say stop being a young man and stop being a man. Be the man. Man up. No. He didn't say all those disgusting things. Man wants to be a woman. Boy wants to be a girl. Girl wants to be a boy. Woman wants to be a man. She wants to cut off her nursing cycle to give nursing to a baby. If that is who Allah made you to be, then so be it. Accept it. What if you don't accept it? That's your self-hatred. That's your thing. But you don't understand it, though. Then we indoctrinate the children and the babies somehow. Oh, we're overpopulated. So now we're going to have to exterminate. But yet we're going to have to congregate and illuminate. Now, I don't understand the condition of people's choice. But what I can say is that if you are living a low vibration lifestyle, how do you expect to uplift somebody else? How do you expect to take upon yourself a wife and obey the ordinance of Allah? Take upon yourself a wife and become a faithful member of society. Fix not solely on our present choice depends on future happiness. These are things that people don't understand. They get themselves a Jezebel wife and it becomes a problem. Alcohol becomes your God. You're lost in the sauce. You're lost in the ways. You may know all the worldly things, but yet you don't know who you are. You may not know who you are, but you see everybody else's nationality, but you never quick to question, what's your nationality? Why are you classified? Why is it that your nationality is being changed from Negro, black, and colored, Ethiopian, Afro-American, African-American, but you never question these things because you don't think. You see the Chinese man with his Chinese flag. You see the Japanese man with his Japanese flag. But yet and still, you choose to be indoctrinated. You don't want to think of nothing else. Oh, I got my house. Oh, I got my car. Everything I worked very, very hard for, but you don't even know that a dollar bill is an IOU. Tell me since when a dollar bill was being backed by what currency? How is the almighty dollar, US dollar, so powerful, but it's not being backed up by gold? See, back in the day, people used to have gold. And what they did was they take their gold and they put their gold in and change it for dollar bills. So you couldn't carry all that gold in your pockets because basically it would make your pants rip. Be too much strenuous on your back. So what you do is you take it to the bank. They swap the gold, your gold, out for dollar bills in exchange for currency. Right? At that moment in time you can do that. But shoot, after the 1930s, forget about it. You can't do it. Cash for your gold. Well, there goes collateral for you right there. Now the question is, when are you going to open your eyes and start seeing the truth for what it really is? When are you going to open your eyes and you realize that your nationality is not black and you can't be American? When you say the word black, you mean dead American, dead Moorish, dead Moroccan, Moorish descendant. You can't be a blackamoor. At least that's what that means. So, the 14th Amendment does not even protect U.S. citizens. Understanding comes from reading the law and understanding it from its perspective and you're a proper person. Not what you are, your name is in all capital letters, because the name in all capital letters means that you're being capitalized. That is not you. That is the fictitious you. But now the question is, how do you straighten out your condition? How do you proclaim something that's not yours, but that was given to you by the slaveholder in 1779? 1828, a 50-year mandate was up, but you failed to proclaim your nationality. Oh no, you choose to be otherwise. You want to be something you're not. So, then so be it. You don't want to ask the government officials of what your nationality is on the record? Then that's on you. That's your choice. Like I tell my moms, my pops and them. You know what I mean? What's good? What's up with the nationality thing? We're Moorish. Oh, you just talking. No, I don't talk. I speak facts. I speak on things I know. Never you will catch me speaking on something I don't know. So when are we going to get ourselves together? When are we going to uplift our minds? When are we going to uplift our thoughts? I'm beginning to see that people are going to keep accepting the condition until it's too late. When it's too late and you fail to understand the condition and what can you do to make yourself live lifestyle a lot better, then you're losing your hope. Your low self-esteem is not arising because you're still in the same condition and you choose not to change. My brothers and sisters, I love you dearly. I want for you as I want for myself. And right now, I am evolving my state of mind to do better. But in order to do better in your state of mind, is you gotta recognize where your problem is within yourself. Recognize the problem within yourself. That way, the change and the manifest and the resurrection is a fact. Now, I know I haven't been on live for a few days, but forgive you, Brother Man. Brother Man Moore's life has just been going through a lot of trials and tribulations. But I still treat the people I love the same, with the same state of mind, same tone of voice. And if I'm wrong, I man up and say, you know, I apologize, I'm wrong. You know what I mean? I didn't mean to say this. That was out of character. That's not who I am. But I stand corrected. I sincerely apologize. You know what, brothers and sisters? The problem is with people is they hard-headed and stick-necked. They don't want to listen. The young people don't want to listen to the elders on what is really going on behind the scenes. Now, I'm going to tell you something. We're going to switch the topic now to immigration, but before I do that, I'm going to have to take a pause right quick because I see two people in the chat. So, we're ready to go into the chat. I see we have Edit CR7 SIUU. Heaven, he says, Edit said hi. Heaven, hi, Islam, peace and blessings to you. And it says, I got 4 subs. Okay, praise Allah. I pray that you get more subs. You know what I mean? And we got Cooper. Cooper says, hi. Islam, peace and blessings. Heaven, hi to you. Hope all is well. I know we got other people listening on the channel and the station. And now we're about to get into something that's really serious. This whole immigration thing. We have situations where a lot of people who came over here and reaping all the rewards to the point where it's causing a lot of conflict. Getting all the business license, getting all the rewards and all this other stuff. So, unfortunately, the people who are already born here, who got their U.S. citizenship, they have a right to revoke your citizenship because that's what they choose to do. And matter of fact, that's what's going to end up happening anyways. So we have to start doing some thinking, family. Mortar Science of America is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon. While we're returning the Europeans back to Europe for their Christianity, for their earthly salvation, while we return to Islam for our earthly and heavenly salvation. So return the church, Christianity back to Europe because that was given to their forefathers and mothers. Christianity never existed in Ethiopia. It was just called Christianity. You can't say the word Christianity or Christian in Ethiopian language. whatever that may be. So with that being said, we really got to take heed to what we say and how we treat each other. There's nothing more in life than just treating someone with kindness. You treat someone with kindness, it will all come back to you tenfold. But we all have to understand that our life depends upon what we do and what we put out there in the ethers and what we get out. So this is going to be a short show today. I have something to do. So peace and love, peace and blessings, family. You take care. Love you all. Peace and love. Close us out with the more Shemaiah prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation. By night and by day. His Lord Prophet Juali. I pray that whatever it is y'all going through, I pray that y'all conquer in the name of peace. To all the subscribers who chilling on my channel, peace and love to y'all. Love y'all dearly. And make sure y'all start learning y'all law. And learn that penal codes is not law. Once you understand that, you're ready to go. You're ready to blast off like a rocket, family. So national and culture is everything. So you take all that into consideration. Peace is always with you. You just need to activate it in your heart and mind. That's it. Nothing else. So, peace and love, family. Y'all take care. And depending on the times when you're in right now, I pray that everything goes all as well and everything goes according to the plan. Your plan that's supposed to be in tune with Allah's plan. Alright, y'all. Peace and love. I'm out.